I got my crazy bedhead because I just woke up. I just woke up after sleeping for 6 hours because brain. You know how that works. Because yesterday, before I went to sleep, I spent literally all night playing through the conclusion of Phantom Pain. You know, I stayed up till like 6 in the morning dealing with that conclusion to that story. It's technically not over. I'm only at 75% completion. So, you know, it ain't, brother, it's not over yet. But, I wanted to, like, get my thoughts down or whatever. Because that sure was an ending right there. And there's a lot of fucking retardation out there in the world. And so I, A, wanted to get my thoughts down for prosperity, and B, explain why everyone else in the world is wrong. And I'm right because I'm a genius, and you're all stupid. Putting on my little pretentious cap right now. This is my snob cap right now. That's what I'm doing right now. So anyway, that's your cue to turn off the video now if you got your fucking panties in a twist already. Also, spoiler alert, obviously, if you haven't played the game, don't watch it, because I'm about to spoil everything. So, you know, spoilers starting in 3, 2, 1. It was the gas station attendant the whole time! How nuts is that? Snape killed Dumbledore! Frodo doesn't throw the ring into the fire. Okay, anyway. So the big twist is that you weren't Big Boss the whole time. But what people don't get is that you were Big Boss the whole time. So obviously you can see, to the casual observer, there would be some confusion here. And what I mean by that is motherfuckers be playing this game as their first Metal Gear Solid game. You see it. You see it all over. Hey, this is my first Metal Gear Solid game. Will I be okay? No. Fuck you. You fucking cocksucker. What the fuck are you doing? This is the 10th game in the series. This is the last game in the series. I'm just gonna read the last chapter of the book first. What are you, a cocksucker? Yes. Yes, you are. You piece of shit. What you should... Oh, I want to play Phantom Pain. Is it okay if it's my first Metal Gear Solid? No, it's not. What you should do is buy a fucking PlayStation 3. Stop being a little bitch and buy the Legacy Collection, basically, and play through Metal Gear 1 and Metal Gear 2 on the MSX, then Metal Gear Solid, then Metal Gear Solid 2, then Metal Gear Solid 3, then Metal Gear Solid 4, then Peace Walker. Then you can play, and then Ground Zeroes, and then you can play Metal Gear Solid 5. What the fuck kind of piece of shit plays the last game in the series first? You have to play the entire series up to this point. You have to play Metal Gear 1, Metal Gear 2, Metal Gear Solid 2, Metal Gear Solid 3, Metal Gear Solid 4, Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker, then this game. Otherwise, it's not going to make any sense to you, and you're just going to be an annoying prick going, oh, medic boss, blah, 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 because you don't actually understand what happened. You just watched the events, and you took it at face value, but you don't actually understand what occurred. Because what happened there was completely metatextual. Like, if you've seen the other video I did on the Metal Gear series, like the little, like, I just ramble on about the entire series for an hour, I explain it. These games don't make sense if you take them literally. They're not supposed to make sense. So, of course, if you played the game and you got that ending and you take it literally, of course it doesn't make sense. So what do I mean by that? What I mean is, in Ground Zeroes, obviously you can see it, that the setup is that there was a helicopter crash, an explosion, and Big Boss goes into a coma for 9 years. And what happens is there was someone else on that helicopter besides Big Boss and Kazuhira Miller. There was a medic dude. There was some medic dude who was voiced by Kiefer Sutherland, who you never saw his face, just down to here is all you saw. And he got in front of the boss when the explosion happened, took the brunt of the explosion. And he's the person that you're playing as in Phantom Pain. They gave him facial reconstruction surgery to look like Big Boss, so that the real Big Boss would be protected. So throughout the entire game, you're not playing as Big Boss, you're playing as Venom Snake. You're playing as this medic dude who thinks he's Big Boss because he's been hypnotized or whatever. He's been hypnotized, but then at the end of the game, he's forced to confront the fact that no, he's not Big Boss. The real Big Boss is out there doing his thing, while you've been here building up his legend in his name, in his own image. And then it concludes at the end, at the end of Metal Gear, you, Venom Snake, were the one that Solid Snake killed at Outer Heaven, and that's why Big Boss still shows up in Zanzibar Land, even though you killed him in Outer Heaven. So that's that. That's the twist. The twist is you're the medic from Ground Zeroes. And again, if you just take it literally in terms of at face value, that's total bullshit. And it completely ruins the entire rest of the story. What the fuck? All this build-up for revenge, all this thing about Big Boss being a legendary mercenary, all this stuff with Diamond Dogs and the camaraderie between him and his men, him being the boss, all the things with Eli being Liquid, just it completely breaks down because that wasn't Big Boss. I was just some guy. That's ruinous. It completely ruins the entire story. So I can understand some people being so infuriated by that ending reveal that it just ruins the entire rest of the game for them. The entire rest of the 100 hours of game. I've played this game for 100 hours. I'm at 75 completion. And I get it. But what people don't understand is that you don't get it. Because it's not ruinous. It doesn't ruin the story. It actually makes complete and total 100% sense in a Kojima way. Because that's the thing, because at the end of chapter 1, where you finally confront Skullface and get your revenge on him, I felt like it was a little impotent. I gotta admit, I wasn't hyped. I was like, this is dumb. This is kind of a letdown in terms of a conclusion to this revenge thing. I wasn't feeling it. And then it was revealed, chapter 2, and then that made me hype. The trailer for chapter 2 made me hype, but everything before that, with the talk, with the final confrontation with Skullface, and the ride in the car, and then at the end when you finally kill him, but you don't, that I was like, so I was really thankful that there was more to the game. But then, when this ending happened, when it turned out you're the medic, I was fucking pumped. I was hyped up. I was like, of course! It makes sense! The only thing, I can understand that people got pissed off, but I personally was pumped. I was like, fuck yeah! Kojima did it again! Mind fucking blown! The only thing about that ending reveal that bothered me was in terms of people around the game. It had nothing to do with the game, it had to do with idiots around the game. Because for a fucking week, Like, even before the game came out, there were idiots being like, oh, you don't play as the real Big Boss. Oh, you play as the medic on, oh, you play as Gray Fox. And the game comes out, and nutless retards just look up the ending on YouTube and go on forums and go, LOL, here's the ending of the game. Spoilers in your face. Do you mind spoilers? Well, here's spoiler. I don't give you a chance to answer. Hey, did you know you played as the manager? Here's the ending of the game. Hey, oh, are you halfway through Half-Blood Prince? Guess what? Snape kills Dumbledore. LOL. Fuck you. Fuck you. You're a cocksucking piece of shit. What kind of god-forsaken shit turd just goes, hey, spoiled, I'm just gonna tell you the spoilers. I'm just gonna tell you this end of the game. And then I was like, god damn it, now they get to think that they're right. Because technically what they say happened, and they don't understand what happened, so all they're gonna do is just see what is shown and think that's what happened. And now they feel vindicated. They feel validated. They think, oh, LOL, I was right, you do play as the medic. When that's not actually what happened. So that's the only part that bothered me, is I was like, god damn it, now idiots exist. But that's not the game's fault. So I can't blame it for that. Same thing happened with MGS2. Idiots exist. There's nothing you can do about that. It bothers me that idiots exist, but there's nothing you can do about it. So, like, why was I okay with that ending? Because, again, taken on face value, it's complete bullshit. But you're not supposed to take it at face value. You're not supposed to take it literally. I've explained this. You've seen that last video. These games make no sense when you take them literally. They are games that are just as much about the fact that they are games as the actual narrative that they present. It was the same in Metal Gear Solid 1. It was the same in Metal Gear Solid 2. It was the same in Metal Gear Solid 3. 4 was weird because I had to deal with baggage, but even then, it was about you, the player, sitting here playing a video game. This is good, isn't it? Again, the only one that kind of breaks down is Peace Walker. But this game follows that theme. This game is about the fact that you are not Big Boss. That's why that ending is so powerful, because it's confronting you with it in the same way that Metal Gear Solid 2 did, but different. It's like a complete inversion of Metal Gear Solid 2, and that's why I dug it, because Metal Gear Solid 2 was about the fact that, like, oh, you want to pretend that you're the legendary soldier Solid Snake. You want to pretend that you're a hero. You want to pretend that you're this cool super action spy. You want to pretend, but you're not. You're an asshole sitting on the couch holding a piece of plastic in your hands playing a fucking video game. That's what Metal Gear Solid 2 was about. And that's also what Metal Gear Solid 5 is about. That's what that ending says. It's going, you, the person playing this game, you wanted to pretend that you were Big Boss. You wanted to pretend that you were getting revenge on Skullface, the man who took away everything you've built up. You wanted to pretend that you could rebuild Outer Heaven and Mother Base. You wanted to pretend that you were a legendary mercenary, but you're not. You're not Big Boss. You're not taking revenge for something that happened to you. You didn't build up MSF. You didn't go into a coma for 9 years. You didn't get revenge. Did I say that already? You get my point. You're just some asshole sitting on the couch holding a controller playing a video game, pretending that you're Big Boss. You've convinced yourself that you're Big Boss. You're in denial. But you're not. You're this asshole. But then at the same time, it's saying that, and then at the same time, it's saying, but you are Big Boss. Because you are. You've been playing these games since the beginning. You've been with it since the beginning. You played a Metal Gear Solid 3. You watched the boss die. You killed her. You felt that pain and betrayal. You played Peace Walker. You did build up MSF. You did become the legendary mercenary. You are responsible for this story becoming what it is, taking the direction it's taken, doing what it's done. You are responsible, because this game, this story would not exist without you, the player, buying these games and facilitating this series and playing along. Playing as Big Boss, doing everything that Big Boss has done. You fought the Cobras. You fought the AI pods. You rescued Chico and Paz, and you watched everything get taken away from you. You did take revenge. You did rebuild Outer Heaven, and you are this soldier doing these things. You, the person playing it. Because if you were not here playing this game with the controller in your hand, none of it would have happened. It would have just been on a title screen, because no one would have been there to press start and watch it go along. To watch it go from where it was to where it is, to where it's been, to where it ends. You are Big Boss, and you're not. You are a Big Boss, and so is he. Big Boss is both of you. Big Boss is the character that exists in this universe, and Big Boss is you, the person playing these games. That's what that ending said. That's what that ending meant. It was a complete busting down of the fourth wall, and a confrontation to the player in many, many ways. And people didn't get it. It went completely over their head, because the first MGS game, I don't know. Like, this is what these games do. This is what they do. Since the first one. Since Metal Gear Solid. Oh, you wanted to play this game and be a cool soldier guy. But here's the truth. This cool soldier guy is fucked up. And you're fucked up for wanting to be him. You're fucked up for getting entertainment out of murdering people. For continuing to go along, to follow your orders, despite the fact that you're being betrayed by your superiors, that everything you thought you were doing was a lie, that in the end you just made things worse, and that things actually would have been fine if you hadn't gotten involved in the first place. You're responsible for things getting this bad, because you wanted to think that you're a cool legendary soldier. But you're not. But you are. And you do save the world. And you do stop Metal Gear Rex. And you do stop Liquid. And he dies of Fox Die. And then you have to go. And then the characters go like, no, Snake. You had to make that choice for yourself. You have to live. You have to make the choice. If you're going to sit here on your butt playing these video games all day pretending, or if you're going to go out there and live your life and make your own destiny. From the very first game, this series has been about so much more than just what was written in the script. And not everyone's going to get that. Not everyone's going to see that ending of this game for what it is. For what it means to this series. This series that's over now. It's done. It closes the loop. There's nothing else to be done with the Metal Gear Solid name, especially since Kojima's not at Konami anymore. Anything that happens from here on out is just, suits milking the cash cow. Really. The series, for all intents and purposes, is over. And to me at least, someone who's been with these games since the beginning, who played it on the PlayStation 1, who got a PS2 for Metal Gear Solid 2. I grew up along with this series. And I know people who've been with it even longer than that. I know people who have who played Metal Gear on the Nintendo Entertainment System. Sure, it wasn't the MSX version, but we never got that, so whatever. We've been with this series since day one. That's who this ending is for. This ending is for the people who are invested in this series, who have been with it, who have played through all the games, who understand what makes this series great. It wasn't for you. If this is your first game in the series, the ending wasn't for you. This game wasn't for you. So really, what you think is irrelevant, because it's uninformed. You know? Idiots who go like, oh, LOL medic boss. You might as well just be saying like, LOL, you only use 10% of your brain. I'm trying to think of a better fictional equivalent. But there is no equivalent to Metal Gear and the rest of fiction. In the width and breadth of media itself. There is nothing that comes even close. There's no comparison. Metal Gear is. And the people, again, for whom this is their first, aren't going to be able to appreciate that. And that's fine. I wish it weren't so, but it's fine. That's not going to change what I felt when I played this game, when I watched that ending. It's not going to change what you felt when you beat Metal Gear. It's not going to change what you felt when Raiden took off his dog tags and threw them away. It's not going to change what you felt when Big Boss saluted at the gravestone. It's not going to change what you felt when he ditched the bandana. It's not going to change what you felt when that helicopter crashed. And it's not going to change what you felt when you woke up in that hospital bed. Except you didn't. Because you didn't do any of those things that I just listed right now. But you did. And that's why this game was great. Ah, so good. Okay, anyway, those are my thoughts on the ending. If I wanted to, I could do those are just the thoughts that have been bouncing around in my head like all night and made me wake up before I should have and stay up all night playing the game. But anyway, like I might do another video like talking about the game as a whole. But like those are my thoughts on the ending. If you've watched this and you haven't seen the ending or played the game yourself, you're a douchebag. And if you're watching this and you have played that ending but you haven't played any of the other games before and MGS5 was your first game in the series, you're also a douchebag. But I love you anyway. You're a cool person. See you next time.